So first and foremost, talk about as existing commissioner, why are you running again for another term, another election cycle as commissioner?
Well, first of all, I love Center County. It's been my home my entire life. I'm very passionate about the future, and I just feel that we need to have good people in the community that step up and do the people's work.
Specific to that, what do you feel are the most specific to commissioners? Something that a commissioner has power over. What do you feel are the most pressing or important issues in the county?
Well, as I probably said before, and many people have heard me say this, it's largely financial. The biggest part of what a commissioner does, he's the CEO of an $80 million corporation, if you will, an organization. And if you don't manage your funds and your finances and do good budgeting, you're not going to have money to do anything else. So I would say our foremost responsibility is the responsible spending of taxpayer money.
Any key, whether that's budget related or other key focuses that you, if reelected, would continue to do, or perhaps things you'd like to have a spotlight shown brighter on as commissioner if reelected again?
Well, the biggest challenge, of course, is a big part of our budget, and most of our budget actually, are state and federal dollars, which don't increase even at the rate of inflation. So finding ways to be creative and making sure that you can do more with less with those dollars. I mean, working together, and that's where finding ways to leverage money and leveraging, but most importantly, sticking to your knitting. County government has very specific guidelines and responsibilities, and when you go outside those guidelines, that's where you spend the money that you could be spending on other programs, specifically mental health, human services, and a lot of the other programs for veterans and general human service programs that benefit a large number of people.
To that end, 2 points of contention within this past set of commissioners, so to speak. One being the solar array, and the other being a $5 fee, so to speak. We'll address the solar array first. Obviously, you voted no on that proposal, so to speak, that project. Talk about why specifically, and why you think that's something maybe that was not a great direction for the county or the commissioners specifically to go in.
Well, first of all, there's a myriad of things that I could talk about, but I'll try to hit the ones that are right on the top of my head. First of all, financially, it doesn't make sense. We are too far north for solar to be effective and cost efficient. That's number one. Second of all, and probably just as important, I don't want to see 6 acres of the land around our jail cluttered up with solar panels. If you're so concerned about buying green energy, then buy green energy. Don't go into the utility business. There's lots of folks in the South that generate power that they'll sell to us, and we can buy it and keep that green energy flowing, if you will. But as far as the numbers of doing it ourselves, the number of $4 million has been touted. It's not going to be $4 million. Those systems are going to be obsolete, and we're going to have problems with them. We're going to have to maintain them. And quite frankly, I don't want them cluttering up our backyard.
To the $5 fee now, it's been, some view this as an oversight or commissioners overstepping their bounds, so to speak, in having this. What's your take on it?
Center County does not own one road. It does not own one bridge. And if we had the responsibility of roads and bridges, then I would say this would be a good place to offset the cost of owning those utilities. We don't. And because we don't own any infrastructure like that, we are playing favorites with the community. And I understand that there's an argument that can be made that you can leverage those dollars against other dollars. But when you look at where those dollars come from, and that is from every family in Center County that owns a vehicle, and very few families own just one vehicle. They're going to own numerous. And that's a year in, year out cost to those folks. And quite frankly, if we owned roads and bridges, I'd probably have a different attitude. But I don't think it's, again, going back to my original statement, I don't think it's the purview and responsibility of county government to tend to every problem out there. And one of the things that I don't believe we should be tending to is roads and bridges that we don't own.
How long have you served in terms of terms?
I'm currently in my 4th term.
4th term.
Mm-hmm.
You've served as chair for part of that time as well. Mm-hmm. Talk about, I guess, throughout your time there, moving forward through this. What are some of the do you feel this as a big, important moment with more and more people coming to Center County in particular? Now, I don't know, it's not the most growth in Pennsylvania per se, but, people are coming to specifically this area. What, through this next cycle of commissioners, what are, do you feel is the most important pivotal or issue that moving forward should be addressed? if reelected?
Well, Center County is growing, and we're seeing a lot of population shifts, and we're seeing a lot of pressure onto some of the rural infrastructure in the county. That all being said, again, those are largely local issues. The zoning and land use belongs to the municipalities. How we can aid them and be of assistance is a big part of what we do. What I think, if I were going to pick one issue that kind of looks at the future, and I would say we need to get our heads and hearts around the substance abuse issue. It impacts so many different layers of our communities. We're seeing it in our criminal justice system. We're seeing it in our human service system. We're seeing it in every neighborhood. I mean, when people are finding needles on the street, when people are seeing the criminal activity that impacts them, whether it be burglaries, thefts, or other malicious activities. Those are the things that we need. I think that should be priority number one. A few years ago, if you had asked me what the biggest issue within substance abuse was, I would have said heroin and the opiates. I think right now you're seeing methamphetamine take a foothold in our community, and we've got to stop that, or we're going to turn into a second-class area, because all that impact is immense. And so it's got to be all hands on deck to try to resolve that problem.
Why on November 5th should people circle the dot next to Steve Dershem?
I think I had the experience to serve Center County well. I think I have a proven track record of success. Working with my fellow Commissioner Chris Exarchos, we've done some amazing things and saved millions and millions and millions of dollars for Center County and and its citizens. And I would hope that I would be given the opportunity to serve another 4 years and continue to work for the citizens of Center County.